Hello everybody, Angels here and welcome back to Tensei Shitara Ken Deshita, episode 11, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check that real quick. It is indeed episode 11, and I'm recording it straight after episode 10, because episode 10 left on a little bit of a cliffhanger, and I'm very, very curious what's gonna happen. And besides that, I've the time. It's Christmas break still, so I can use that to catch up to whatever I've been late on. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So, in a previous episode, we entered the dungeon full of spiders and other dangers, including traps. And we mostly just learned about the world and about the dungeons and about the magic system, mostly. We learned what arts are. It's using magic to strengthen your body. Skills, which is some special ability imparted on you when you reach a certain point or in whatever in your development in your life. And there's also magic, which is manipulating mana outside of the body. Oh, I just scratched my mic. I hope it didn't make your ears bleed. Yeah. Mana magic that makes you use mana outside of your body to cast spells outside of the body instead of strengthening yourself. And we also learned a little bit about how dungeons work, that they can be set to spawn only certain monsters, and and that's why people want to capture them, because you can make those dungeons spawn some rather useful monsters that might be required in the economy of your local city, country, barony, or whatever else, right? And what else? And we also met some shady figure that's probably responsible for this dungeon that's already been conquered, unconquering itself to a degree, gaining a new dungeon master, although an unofficial one, just a really strong humanoid-ish monster that's able to create new traps and change the settings of the dungeon, at least to a degree. And we're gonna have to fight her. We're gonna have to fight her barehanded and barefisted because Fran, Bowles, and Victor, if I'm not mistaken, fell into a trap that teleported them into the boss room and also unequipped their weapons. And Fran, not having access to Shishou, apparently makes her unable to use all of those skills. Vicinity to Shishou is apparently crucial, which I didn't know. I guess it does make sense, but I thought that the gifts that Shishou imparts upon her are more or less permanent. Oh well, we'll see. There's probably gonna be an explanation sooner or later. Sorry, you have to see me fiddle with stuff here, but I want to avoid clipping my mic, and I see that I clip sometimes, so I have to uh, move around the sliders a little bit every now and then. Okay, what else? The title of this episode is something something wolf, so Shishou will probably summon the wolf to sniff out Fran, and that's how they're gonna find her, because Shishou's skills are apparently insufficient to do that, to find her, which is interesting. Very interesting. You'd think that if there would be anybody able to find Fran just like that, it'd be Shishou, but apparently not. Now, Amanda wields him, so Amanda might also prove to be helpful in this situation. We will see, of course. We will see as soon as we watch this episode. And to do that, you will need your subs, and I will need my sound, and I'm also gonna have to ask you guys for your support. Support me on Patreon Throne, links in the description below. Or if you don't want to spend any money, share my content, spread the word. It costs nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with that out of the way, we can start watching episode 11 of Tensei Shitara Ken Deshita in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, not just her body. Yeah, how does that work? Don't you have any abilities of your own? I wonder. Poison? And explosion? No. Someone used a mysterious red poison potion. Yep. Yeah, you know something. Trickster spider? And Amanda on her own. Everywhere. Yeah, I mean, unlikely that the boss chamber would be high up there. Echolocation of some sort. Yep. Yeah, again, how does that work? I guess it counts as unequipping. When Shishou is equipped, even if she doesn't hold Shishou in her hands, he's still equipped. But as soon as he's unequipped, then even if he's in the vicinity, the skills and the stats don't count. I mean, at least she has her Black Cat agility still. That's better than nothing. She can at least avoid some of the traps and attacks. The wolf. Okay, opening time. Also interesting how the trickster spider has eyes on where it does. The human portion just kind of grows out of top of the spider instead of, spider body and then human body, kind of like a centaur. The spider is kind of as if centaurs had a human for a unicorn horn. It's a fairly common design, I guess, when it comes to arachnes and riders and stuff like that. I wonder if you could track that and categorize it, the design of spider girls, essentially, um, humanoid spider monsters, into the ones that are supposed to be fuckable, meaning they back body of a spider, front body of a human, and those that are supposed to be unfuckable, meaning whole as spider, just a person growing out of top of its head. I guess you could make that distinction. Right? Because on one hand you have this one, and on the other you have like Raknera from Monmusu. We already know what that skill is. That's an interesting usage of splitting the mind. I mean, that's not the time to think about it. Exactly. Wolf summon skill taken from a beetle. Basically, all of the Eevee evolutions. Some of the water one. It's the most compatible. I choose you. Okay. I guess the more mana you pour into it, the stronger your summon. Okay. So Shishou can summon the wolf but can't control it. Interesting. The sword. I guess it's convenient that Shishou is out of her line of sight. Meaning, yeah. Okay, Shishou poured too much mana into it. Gotcha. Makes sense. Okay, naming to bind the creature. Yeah, that's how it usually is. You have to name your summon or whatever to fully bond with it. And that. Good enough. Name it Scruffy or whatever, and Jet, as in Jet Black? Okay. And it's no longer frenzied. Okay, so instead of the mana running rampant throughout its body, it makes use of all that surplus mana. Is it gonna Pokemon evolve or Digimon evolve, though? Oh, Darkness Wolf. That's an awful lot of text. Yes, they do. They usually do. I mean, thankfully, the spider at least likes to play with its prey instead of just killing it outright. And why not? Who's gonna stop him? Oh! Shadow Step! That's right, it is a Darkness Wolf after all, and it inherited some of the skills of uh, of Shishou. Should have waited at least a couple seconds for Amanda to jump on the back of this wolf and go with you. No, you still have something left. You have the ally. You have the bond. Oh, they're still alive? Didn't one of them get a couple of uh, darts in his arm? I guess maybe that wasn't a lethal poison. It was some other kind. Oh, that's a lot of spiders. Yeah, I mean, actually, the music is amazing as always. Also, could probably smack some of the spiders with the scabbard. Okay, it also has trap vision. Gonna pierce through. Gonna pierce through. Burn them. And this song comes on again. Okay. I fucking love this music. Okay, Shishou, you better hurry the fuck up. Limit breaker skill unlocked. Or something, probably. That's a cool scene. And here comes Shishou. Shishou ex machina. No, you probably should heal first, after all. Yeah. Oh, probably don't touch him. Yeah. I mean, he can always get repaired. All it takes is some time. The magic words. An expression of pride. And here comes the comedic moment to break up the touching reunion. And Jet is just munching on some spiders. I hope he has a skill to shrink a little. Or go back to the Pokeball. At least they have a means of transportation now. Yeah. Is it? You are. Yeah, exactly. She earned her trust. Yeah. Unless someone's listening in. So, perhaps use telepathy at least. I was hoping we're gonna actually hear an explanation. Sonotori indeed. And they have another thing to bond over. Did they translate Shishokun as teacher's sword, as in Shishoken? Is that what happened? They mistook Kun and Ken? I'm not sure. Yeah, you probably should heal them as well. An angel. Yeah, start worshipping. Good. Yeah, you still have the spider to deal with. I'm guessing that's left for episode 12. Can they also go on the back? You should be enjoying this, my dude. Probably encountered the spider. Okay. A light owl? Color me surprised. A light owl, really? And a monster. Like, I would expect it to be a friendly, but it looked kind of angry. And it appeared right after the spider roared. I don't know. It could be a device to show us that light magic isn't necessarily good, the same way dark magic isn't necessarily bad. Right? We had the example of Jet, Fran, and that necromancer that Amanda knows being good people, good creatures, and yet using dark magic. So perhaps we're gonna have an example of a monster that very much is after our heads, but is made of light magic. Interesting. Interesting where they're gonna go with it. I wonder. This series is 12 episodes, right? It's not like 13 or 24 or something. An excited Fran sets off. Uh, that means episode 12 is probably the final one. Sets off meaning they solve the issue of the dungeon and Fran fucks off to another city, traveling to a new dungeon or something like that. Probably. Probably. But that's what's going to happen in the next episode, and what's going to happen now is we're gonna watch this one again. Shall we? Yes, we shall. Yeah, all the weapons are gone. I wonder, yet again, what's the deal with it? I think it's about the status of equipped or unequipped. The trap unequipped Shishou. So even if Fran and Shishou got teleported together, but Shishou was laying somewhere on the ground right next to Fran, she would not have access to the skills and abilities and magic until she actually touches Shishou and picks him up and equips him. I think that might be the case. That or proximity. Either or. But if it was about proximity, then as soon as Shishou stands in front of the wall that leads to the lair of the spider, Fran should be able to feel it somehow, perhaps? I don't know. Maybe needs a line of sight. I have no clue. Again, maybe you know. Maybe it's some detail that's there in the manga or in the light novel or something, and it didn't make it into the anime. So do let me know. I'm open for any like clarifications and additional supplemental. Is that even a word? A word? Additional details that are there in the source material but didn't make it to the adaptation. As long as it's not a spoiler, going ahead in the story, then I'm perfectly fine, and I appreciate hearing of any things that might have been missed during the course of adapting the source material. And yeah, thankfully the spider doesn't just want to kill them; it just wants to toy with them. You're implying it evolved on its own. Probably not. Probably the man in the hood, or the person in the hood. We don't know if it's a man or a woman, or another entity caused it to evolve. You know something. I don't know what do you know, but you know something. I wonder if it's gonna be a little bit more relevant in the future, or was it he in the cloak? Maybe. Huh. Probably not. I'm not sure. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if we encounter the highest level evolution of the trickster spider. Yeah. Splitting into teams, using wind magic. OP, 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 OP. And yeah, looking for a skill that can help. This is an amazing use of Split Mind. All this time, I treated it as essentially a skill that lets you double cast other skills, but apparently it can be used to double the processing power of your brain, because you essentially create an ephemeral clone of yourself that also has the same uh, brain capacity. That's amazing. I love it. I love the use of skills, the imaginative use of skills in the series. Summon minion, all sorts of different wolves, and Onyx Wolf summoned with all the mana. Apparently, summoning it with all the mana is not the best choice. You need to adjust the amount of mana used for summoning to the creature you're summoning, apparently, which is interesting. If Shishou were to use too little mana, he'd probably summon a wolf pup or something. But since he used too much mana, it causes physical pain to that creature. So we have to find that sweet spot where you summon something strong, but not so strong that it essentially collapses upon itself and is in eternal pain. Mana Frenzy, we now know what it is. And yeah, naming, very important in pretty much every single piece of fantasy media ever. Names, in some way or another, names are always important. Names are either a powerful seal, or names allow you to create a contract with the devil, or names allow you to make a magic sword, or names allow you to control some creature, and so on and so forth, right? Eragon is probably the best example of it, right? Eragon named his sword Brisingr, which in the Elder Speech or whatever means fire, and now the sword is on fire. Cool, right? I wish Eragon got a better adaptation to the movie. And yeah, naming your summoned creature might strengthen your bond. Jet. Updating mana crystal with surplus mana. That again sounds very gamified, but I'm assuming it's just the system lady that speaks this way. In world, it probably has some different name, like I don't know, mana oversaturation or whatever, but in like regular normal to our real actual world, so understandable for Shishou, it's updating mana with surplus mana. Update complete, all ability scores increase to prerequisite levels. So now the mana isn't just running rampant throughout its body, it's concentrated in the mana crystal. Oh boy, that's a lot. Predatory absorption, I'm assuming it's the same skill as Shishou. If Jet eats a monster, Jet gets the ability of that monster. Sword minion, Great Wolf minion. Dark resistance, dark magic, superior olfaction, so sense of smell. Stealth, Fang Arts, Fang Mastery, Shadow Lurk. Interesting how Fangs are treated as a weapon. Shadow Step, Air Leap, Terror, Vigilance, Conceal Presence, Regeneration, Venom Magic. Interesting. Blink, Silent Step, Necromancy. Very interesting. Detect Creature, Mental Resistance, Poison Magic, Echolocation, Roar, Night Shroud, Shadow Magic, Dark Vision, Demonic Poison Fang, Auto Health Regen, Auto MP Regen, Poison Immunity, Shapeshift, Mana Manipulation. Shapeshift, that's gonna come useful. I believe it's gonna shrink down to a more manageable size so that they can take it into the city as a minion, not as a mount. Or I don't know, it's not this kind of an anime. Usually when a summoned minion has the shapeshifting skill, it sooner or later transforms into a lolly. I hope it's not gonna be the case. Probably not gonna be the case. Because you need a male main character for that, right? You need the classic scene of the main character laying in bed, sleeping in bed with their minion, and then the main character wakes up, and oh, it's not the cute little fluffy bunny rabbit that they saved in the forest. It's now a naked lolly girl. What? Right? You know it. You know the trope very well. A high-rank direwolf that can use shadow magic. Its magic and skill set make up for its relatively low stats for its threat level. Its stealth-oriented skills have made it difficult to locate live specimens, threat level C. So a C-rank monster, very, very high. Everybody, well, not everybody here, but the parties that came here are just E-rank. And this one is C, so they would probably treat Jet like essentially a raid boss. That's what Jet would be for them. And fighting Fran. It's gonna be really easy. Shadow Step, or whatever it's called. I think it would have been better if Amanda actually got to ride on the back of Jet, but whatever, she keeps up. At least it's not used as a device for separating them, because Amanda is able to keep up. If it was that Jet and Shishou didn't wait for Amanda, they just rushed through, and because of that they got separated, and Amanda arrived later, and there were some complications because of that, I'd be kind of mad, but it's not used. The fact that Amanda doesn't ride Jet isn't used as a means of separating them, so it's perfectly fine. No skills, no strength. I'm the girl I was before I found teacher. Nobody with no abilities or name. I wonder if naming Fran had some effect. But yeah, Fran, of course, is, well, not entirely wrong, but she's not the same person. She has inner strength, right? She no longer just succumbs to her fate and wallows in pity. She has her own strength. She can rise up on her own two legs and fight with her own two arms. Yeah, she's not just a weak slave. She has her own conviction. I still have my arms and legs, indeed. As long as you can punch, as long as you can kick, as long as you can rip and tear, you can fight. And again, my body remembers all the things teacher taught me. So there is something that's stuck to Fran. Perhaps not the skills, not the abilities, but the way to move her body, the way to dodge, the way to notice attacks and things like that. Things that you actually like physically learn, not through supernatural means. I am Fran, a black cat who strives to evolve. Trap vision, another very useful skill. Uh-huh. I'll power past them. Where's that shot? The music. Music in this series has no right to be this good. Holy fucking shit. It has no right to be this good. This is an amazing shot. I love it. Tiny little Fran against the behemoth of a spider. Just jumping with reckless abandon. Thankfully, Shishou ex machina singeing the side of that spider. And the spider run, unfortunately. Ran doesn't care about the burns. I mean, Shishou can heal them, so it's not a big deal, really. Compared to finally being reunited with Shishou, what's a couple of burns, right? You did great on your own. I'm so proud of you. Them's the words. Them's the words that make Fran make this face. Makes her vibrate with excitement. And of course, Mommy is here. And Jet is here. Her Fluffy Jr. The jig is up. Amanda now knows of Shishou's true nature. I kind of wish we got to hear Fran's explanation instead of just a, screen with some random gems thrown over it. I wonder if the source material had Fran actually explain things. Let me know if you're familiar with the source material. Did Fran actually provide some explanation, or was it also just glossed over? And of course, Amanda doesn't have anything against it. It's a magic sword. It's an intelligent sword. It's some cool shit. What else did you think her reaction would be? Of course, she's amazed. Especially since Shishou is able to help Fran, and that's like the best thing in the world since sliced bread in Amanda's eyes. Assuming, of course, they have sliced bread in this world. I'm jealous, but I'm glad to. Okay, I want to hear this line. I distinctly hear Shishou-kun. Shishoku. Shishou-kun, Shishoku. This time I heard Shishoku. This time I heard Shishou-kun. I never heard Shishou-ken. Shishou-ken would be more or less sword teacher. Shishou-kun is teacher-kun, diminutive form of teacher, essentially. Is it a translation error? Did whoever was translating it translated it from hearing and heard Ken instead of Kun? And because, yeah, sword teacher doesn't make sense. Kun makes sense because he has just call me teacher. And Amanda says, just call me Amanda, not Amanda-san or whatever he was using. Just call me Amanda, just call me Shishou. Drop the honorifics. Sword is not an honorific. Kun is an honorific. I'm so happy you trust me enough to tell me your secret. Yeah, if there's anybody trustworthy in here, it's gonna be Amanda. Honestly. Goddess. Start worshipping. Start worshipping, indeed. And thankfully, they don't remember any of that exchange. Why can't they just be thrown over the back of Jet and they need to be carried by Amanda and in Jet's mouth? I don't know. Maybe Jet doesn't let anybody ride him. That isn't the owner. That's usually the case. It hasn't been explicitly stated, but I wouldn't be surprised if that actually was the case. Something happened. Yeah, nobody's here yet. I wonder what happened. Because sure, the spider is now recuperating, so it probably isn't attacking the other adventurers. So what held them up, if not the spider boss? Are they still searching for Fran? Is that the case? Did they all fall for some trap? Are they tied up in a battle with other monsters? I don't know. A monster. Yeah, light owl. Looks pissed, so probably a monster, but what kind? Why is it here? Who summoned it? I don't know. Was it the spider lady that summoned it? I don't think so, although it did appear after the spider lady roared, so maybe. Was it the guildmaster that sent a familiar after them? Is it just an independent monster that resides in this labyrinth, in this dungeon? I have no clue. Edie, Edie, Edie. An excited Fran sets off. I want to go through it really quick again, in case I missed something, but I don't think I did. A great chunk of this episode was essentially just searching for Fran, and Fran, Bells, Bowles, and Victor just getting bodied. Yeah, essentially the first half was just that. The pre-opening part, at least. Yeah, I wonder what happened to those adventurers. Why were they held up somewhere? And what's gonna be in the next episode? That's also something I wonder. But I'm not gonna have to wonder that next week ish when I watch the finale. Yeah, that's when we're gonna learn about it. I think it's gonna be the finale. Let me check out real quick. Is Tensei Shitara Ken Deshita a 12 episode series or a 13 episode series? Tensei Shitara Ken Deshita is listed as 12 episodes. Okay, so the next episode is going to be the last one. Mm. Oh, 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 second season. Second season has been announced. It doesn't have any release date, but there is a second season. Okay. There's gonna be a second season. Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. Now I know that whatever the fuck the finale brings, it's gonna be fine because there's still the second season. So I'm very much calm when it comes to the future of this series, and I also love the fact that it got the recognition it deserved, and it actually got a second season. If Ari Fureta can get 2 seasons, I mean, shit. This series better get like 3 of them. Uh, okay, that was a cool episode. Not particularly much substance has happened. It was mostly just looking for Fran and fighting the spider. Not even fighting the spider, really. Fran was getting beaten by the spider, and then Shishou just blazed through it. Can't really call it a fight, right? The thing of significance two, three, I guess, things of significance that you can take out of this episode is that we have a pretty much direct confirmation that someone fiddled with this dungeon and did something to it to start spawning stronger monsters and create that big boss of a monster. And the elf dude knows something, probably. The second thing that was important is, of course, the summoning of Jet. We now have a new party member. I was wondering when a new party member is gonna happen, and now it's gonna happen. I wonder if we're ever gonna get a human or humanoid party member. Is Amanda gonna join us? Someone else maybe is gonna join us? Or is it just gonna be Fran, Shishou, and Jet? And maybe some other summoned creature or something like that. And we're never actually gonna be joined by another cat girl or bunny girl or bunny boy or human man or human woman or anything of that sort. And the third thing that happened is, again, it strengthened the relationship between Fran and Amanda even more, and I'm glad. I'm glad. I was glad even in a previous episode that her relationship has been established as more than just comedic relief, but in this episode it really got strengthened even more in my eyes, and I'm in for it. I'm absolutely in for it. I really do enjoy it. There is still some comedy to the relationship. Like, don't get me wrong, um, Amanda throwing herself into Fran's embrace as soon as she saw her. That's full on comedy, right? Very comedic situation, but it's not that everything is a Comedy. Thumbs up yet again. Uh, yeah, I really did enjoy myself. What else can I say? I did like this episode, and I'm excited for the next one, and I'm excited for the second season. I was afraid I'm gonna have to read the manga or the light novel. No, second season is coming. That's great. That's great. I'm gonna be waiting, and you can be sure, whenever it comes out, I'm gonna be watching it. And yeah, maybe you have something more to add. If so, do so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? Are you excited for the second season? Or maybe you're not, because it covers like the most boring arc of the light novel or something. I don't know, tell me about it. As long as it's not a spoiler, it's perfectly fine. If you do want to talk spoilers, Discord is here also in the description. Join it, there's a Tensei Shitara Ken Deshita channel there, where you can discuss spoilers to your heart's content, because I'm just not gonna read them. Simple as that. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Tensei Shitara Ken Deshita, but also Symphogear Axis, Gundam Witch from Mercury, Management of a Novice Alchemist, Arknights Prelude to Dawn, and I'm gonna be watching, or maybe I've already seen, I don't know, depending on when I release this episode, Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica Rebellion, and after that, Magia Records. So might want to stay tuned for that. I also stream sometimes, so might want to click the bell to be notified whenever I go live. What's next? Support the channel if you want. Monetarily, Patreon Throne. Patreon links in the description below. On Patreon for $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonals like Madoka, like Symphogear, and for just $1 a month, you get place in the credits and a role on the Discord. And I sometimes also release some of my seasonal videos a little bit early on that tier as well, so might want to be something you want to look into if you wish, of course. On Throne, you can pitch in directly towards my purchase of better gear, better software, stuff like that, and if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel an awful lot. And now, with that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today, so as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers. And outro. There it is. My list of amazing Patreons, and you can be one of them if only you so desire.